Come here.
No.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos. Say hi. She's wearing a hand-me-down today because all of her clean, warm clothes are in the washer. Today I have a super video for you, and that is how to make Nicaraguan beans, how to make Nicaraguan rice, and how to make Nicaraguan gallo pinto, which is basically rice and beans mixed together. Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Soy Darlene, a Spanglish-speaking mama, and on this channel we speak Spanglish, all about Nicaragua and life as a bicultural family. If you're interested in this type of content, consider subscribing, and let's get into the video. If you haven't seen my past 3 videos, this is basically the 3 of them put together, but I want to add a couple tips and tricks that I learned from posting the videos and people commenting, and then also learning from my own mistakes. Okay, bye-bye. Have fun.
Bye.
Tip number 1, when you go to boil the beans, you can put a metal spoon in the pot with the beans, and that makes them cook quicker. When I made the beans, I used the already minced garlic that comes in a big jar, but I mean, most people just use regular garlic. You would just chop it into chunks and put that in. But one thing that is very Nika is to not measure, just kind of go with the flow of things. So let it boil and then turn it down to simmer. And then you let it simmer for 2 hours. I think I had it about 2.5 hours until it's soft. If it's good, it's good. If it's hard, you cook it longer. Si necesita más ajo, you put more ajo. And that's pretty much it. None of this business like I learned of you have to soak beans overnight before you can cook them. No, they're dry beans, you just put them to boil. Let it heat up just a little bit. Don't measure, just put, I don't know, like a little puddle. Después echa cebolla, just a little bit, again, as how much you like. Or if you don't like onion, then don't add onion, I guess. I personally always like to do sliced chunks of onion, but some people like smaller pieces of onion so that's like more lost in the rice or you don't notice it as much. So that's up to your personal preference, which I think applies to anything you add onion to while cooking. Then you add in maybe a cup of rice. Whatever you do of rice, I do double the water. So I added about a cup-ish of rice. Add a bit of salt again. How much salt do you like? A lot, a little, echa a tu gusto. And then you just mix it all together so that the rice gets coated with the oil. And then you're going to let the rice sit a little bit, maybe mix it once or twice, try not to touch the rice too much. And you kind of want to brown the rice, but don't let it get too dark. Kind of let it get, I don't know, you notice it changes color a little bit. Después vas a bajar the heat on the stove, put in the twice as much water as you did rice, put a cover on, and put the timer on. Normally I'll put a timer for about 12 to 14 minutes. depending how much rice you make, and sometimes I forget to add the salt at first, so this is where I add the salt. No importa mucho, I think. Tip number 2, whenever I make my rice, it always turns out a bit like mushy and like wet. So I was told that you can wait a little bit to put the cover on. Don't put it on as soon as you put the water in the rice, but wait a little bit and then put the cover on. And the second thing about helping that is putting a piece of bread in with the rice so that helps absorb the water and it doesn't go as much into the rice. Oh yes, and the third thing is put a little bit less water. As you can see, there's still a bit of puddled water at the bottom of the rice when the timer rang, so I put it for a few more minutes. It's just until the rice has absorbed all of the water in the pot. But antes de que se queme. Tip number 3, when you are making the rice, right in the last few minutes of the time that it's absorbing the water, you should add sliced pieces of green pepper, which they call chiltoma, and just kind of let those steam, and then the rice kind of absorbs a bit of that flavor. That is it for the rice. So once you have your rice made and your beans boiled, you're gonna grab a pan, put some oil in it, let it heat up. Tip number 4 is when you go to fry the beans, you're gonna want to add the oil, let it heat up a little bit, and then add the onion so that it cooks and browns a bit before adding the beans. And then you're gonna put your beans put your beans in the pan and mash it up. I just use the bottom of a cup and like kind of twist and push on the beans until they're like a little bit mashed, not completely mashed, but like pretty good. And every once in a while you're just gonna mix the beans and just make sure they don't burn, and you know, if they start getting too dry, then add a little bit of the water from the boiled beans into it. Tip number 5 is when you go to squish the beans with the bottom of the cup, which I use. I mean, you can use anything to squish the beans, but you don't want to actually like grind them. You want to actually just smash them flat and not so much make them like lose their innards, so to speak. You just want to squish them a little bit so they're like flattened, not so that they're like oozing, I guess. So once your beans are all good and fried up, then what I usually do is just dump those beans into the rice. And measuring, again, Nikas don't tend to measure. I think it's about half the amount of beans as rice. So if you have 2 cups of rice, maybe a cup of beans, I don't know, mix it together and just make sure it's good. Pero no importa mucho, it's just however you like it. So you just want to stir the 2 things together, make sure it's warm, make sure it tastes good. If you need more salt, put more salt. And I think that's it. And the last tip I have for you when making Nicaraguan beans, Nicaraguan rice, and Nicaraguan gallo pinto is if you want a different flavor, you can use coconut oil instead of the regular oil. This is what they do on the Caribbean side. It's really good. We tried that gallo pinto with the coconut oil when we went to Little Corn Island. You can check that video out here. If you like that flavor, it's very delicious in the gallo pinto. Gracias por ver. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I know I've learned something along this process of trying to make these things. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever tried this, how it went for you, and if there's any other videos of Nicaraguan food that you would like me to show you, or do, or make, create. And that's it for today. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!